Welcome Minna!
Till Barcelona Fastighetssnack
Episod
numero
16. Idag så har vi ett speciellt avsnitt. We have a special episode today. We have invited our friend Nick because you have some very nice experience to tell us about how it is to move to this city.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's actually, we're aiming for a 14-minute video this week. So, but there's so much to squeeze out of Nick. So let's just jump into who are you? Where are you from?
My name is Nick. I'm 28 years old. I'm from Germany. I'm from Munich.
Wow.
What are you doing on a Swedish podcast?
Exactly. I don't know how I happened to know these guys. Well, actually, I know how I happened to know this guy. We met 10 years ago in Japan, and that's also kind of the start of the story why I happen to be now in Barcelona, because you and me, we had a startup, a sportswear startup called Solid Grid, and we founded it, what was it, like 4 years ago?
Yeah,
something like that.
Around there.
And I had the company itself located...
You were actually living at different parts, right?
Right, we were in different cities. To be precise, I had the company in Munich, and he was supervising the production plant in Lithuania.
Yeah.
So we were working remotely and flying back and forth, and at some point we just said, hey, let's find a cool, vibrant city in Europe where there's a lot of young activities going on and that is good to market the product as well. And we just said Barcelona.
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Vamos a la playa.
Vamos a la playa, exactly.
You got the beach, you got mountains, you got everything in between.
This was 2 years ago?
That was 2 years, about a little bit more than 2 years ago. And so me and him, we moved to the city, and we first worked on our own project. And at some point we finished it, we closed the project. And I think we both just, couldn't see ourselves going back anymore. It's Barcelona, that's it. For me, I've been living in many places, but this is for me the most well-rounded place to be in Europe, to be honest, at the moment.
This is so interesting also because since this is a Swedish podcast, and we will come to the property related stuff a little bit later, because you actually bought something, we'll come back to that.
Right.
But before that, where are you working right now, and where is this company from?
Right, so now I'm working for a Swedish IT company.
Did you say Swedish?
I said Swedish.
A German working in Spain in a Swedish company. Okay.
I don't know, I can't get rid of the Swedish connection. It's all through my life Swedish things happening.
Yeah.
It's called Snow Software. We do software asset management, and it's a globally acting company, but we have a hub here in Barcelona.
It's like 700 people employed.
Yeah, we're like 700 people worldwide, and here locally around 30 people more or less.
People.
It's a sales team.
And this is a job that you really enjoy.
So I love it, yeah. I started there, and I got my, I was in sales through our startup before, but I wanted to get myself into IT, and it was a great school.
So much, you like it so much that you actually got me to start
pulled
there
this
as well.
guy in. So my old colleague and partner, he happened to sit right next to me again. So yeah.
Fantastic.
That's how life goes. Sometimes you have a business, sometimes you go back to working for the big man. And
where were you living when you arrived then? How do you fix that? So you had a startup, and then after that you started working for this software company Snow in Barcelona. But where have you been living during all this?
Right, so I mean, as it is always when you land in a new city, it's a little bit all over the place. You don't know how to get around, who to talk to, what to do, where to stay. And I personally, through like a couple of corners, organized myself a room that I rented for a couple of weeks. And while I had that room up in Gracia, I was visiting places, shared apartments where I could see myself living at. And I think that's really crucial, important that you land in the city first, you orientate yourself, and then you figure out where you really want to stay, because it's so hard to do that remotely,
Yeah.
And when you came here with your car also, right?
Yeah, so I just packed everything that I could squeeze into my car and made a nice Euro trip through Italy and France and then Spain, and I landed in Barcelona and just parked the car and never left again, basically.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so after Gracia, you were there. I visited you there for one time or so.
Right.
But then very quickly you wanted a different living situation, so you
headed
somewhere else.
Exactly. You figure out where is your office, where is your work, where is your gym, where is there, the things that are important to you, and for me that was all further south, more towards like the mountainside, Montjuic, and a little bit to the beach. So for me, Sant Antoni at that time was great. So I found a nice shared apartment with 2 Danish older people, actually.
Shared apartment with 2 older Danish people.
Exactly.
Sounds dangerous.
Sounds very dangerous.
Danish dangerous.
You never know what happens.
Well, I didn't want to end up in a student apartment. I was afraid that people might, are a bit messy or they're partying too much. And I'm like a little bit out of that, age. So, yeah. So I happened to live with some, mid 40 Danish old people.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have actually taken a step even. You have many grown-up points now because you have.
I do.
We have to congratulate you because you just recently became a homeowner. You bought yourself an apartment.
Right.
So you went from living in a shared flat, renting a room, to buying your own place.
Exactly. Made me
Surviving
feel
the
a
Danes.
bunch of years older. Actually, the process. No, I'm joking. How did I come to that?
Which neighborhood is this?
This is in Sants. Barcelona Sants, which is a very typical original Catalan area. And just to give you an orientation, if you look at Barcelona and you say Plaza Catalunya is the heart of the city, you have on the right you have Sagrada Familia, to the south you have the beach, to the north you have Gracia and the mountains, and then to the left you have Montjuic, and a little bit over Montjuic and Plaza España you have the area of Sants.
We have Estación de Sants.
Exactly.
Which is like actually the hub if you want to go to the airport or take a train to France, etc.
Exactly. So Sants is a beautiful area because it's not very touristic at all. It's very social.
Gone up in value yet?
And well, I think this is the best part of it. It's like a little bit undiscovered yet.
Yeah.
So I think prices will go up in the next 2, 3, 5 years, because it hasn't yet, and it's such an attractive area to live in. There's everything like right in front of you, from bars and restaurants.
The very city center has gone very
much. It's so I don't know. Like what I was looking for is I wanted a place for myself with a terrace. That was to me just crucial. I wanted to have a place where I can just go out and enjoy this weather.
And how did that first search of a terrace place go for you?
Not so well. I mean, if you have a budget of like, let's say 250, 300 to maximum.
They don't pay you well enough at snow. That's what you want to say.
They don't actually.
Damn the Swedes. Okay, but you had a budget of about 300,000.
About 300k, let's say. It's really hard to find a nice place as an ático, as we say here in Spanish, which is like the penthouse situation. If you would buy something like that in central Barcelona, you end up with like a one-room situation, a small terrace, because they're so popular. And that was just not for me. So what I looked for is a nice flat that is on the top floor where you have like a shared terrace situation with the rest of the building.
So wait, you don't have your private terrace.
Exactly.
You have a public terrace.
So
but nobody's using it, right?
True. Let me walk you through how the living situation is. I found a place in Sants in a pedestrian street, so very quiet, in a building, a beautiful old building from 1880.
Wow.
But all restored, very nice, with only 5 parties in the house, so me plus 4 neighbors. Those 4 neighbors, they have their own, 2 of them have their own terrace, the rest is not using the common space terrace on top. So I basically have it all on my own, plus I have 74 square meters of usable space in my own apartment.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
Exactly.
When you start fixing it upstairs, putting barbecue and everything, flowers, they will come.
They will come. They will come. No, but I think
they don't enjoy it as we do.
I somehow Catalan people they don't really use their terraces too much in my experience. I don't know why. Maybe they're too used to it. I don't know. But for us Germans or Nordics, it's special.
See some funny looking underwear in different colors.
Right. They hang the laundry there.
They do. It is basically.
Yeah, basically.
So I visited you in that apartment. It's under construction right now.
Yes.
What I did like is.
Is it under construction? No, it's being refurbished.
Right? Being refurbished. Yeah. What's the proper
It's
term?
an entire refurbishment. So we're just tearing out walls and ceiling and floor and like we're completely refurbishing, rebuilding it, whatever it is, from ground up.
What I liked when I came there, because you gave me a little bit of an idea of the area, but I didn't understand that it was just in Sands on the main street where you have all the buzz and all the traffic, and I saw there's good restaurants, there's good shops, you have everything. It's a proper little town or neighborhood.
It is, yeah.
And then just 50 meters from that main street into a small street, you have your apartment.
It's crazy, yeah.
I thought that was really good.
The main street of Sands is so vibrant and energetic and lively, but just like 50 to 100 meters backwards, you're in a pedestrian area where there's no cars, no traffic, it's absolutely quiet, it's beautiful. Yeah.
So you get a great place in a great location for more or less half the price of a normal apartment with terrace would go for.
Maybe not. I mean, it all depends on the area, and maybe not half the price, but I would say probably a solid 30% less than you would pay in, let's say, example, with your own private terrace that would happen to be way smaller,
So now when we're getting closer to 11 minutes, over 11 minutes, if you would give 3 advice to someone who is thinking home, they're sitting in Germany or in Sweden, etc., thinking about, would I take the big step and move to Barcelona? Would you be able to give 3 good advice that this person could use?
Right. First of all, do it. It's worth it. It's a great place to be.
Just do it.
This is the time to be here. This is the most interesting time right now.
So
okay. Well, first, take your time. Be patient. Scout the area. First land here with something like an Airbnb room or whatever, and then orientate yourself. Take the time and find a good, nice place to stay in. Second.
No, that was second.
Was it second already? I got one more. Oh God.
The first one was Nike. Just do it.
Right. True. So my third advice is.
The Swedes are better organized than the Germans. No.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. No.
Seems like.
You want to squeeze in a
Why
fourth?
don't you give some advice, huh?
Well, we haven't prepared. Right?
You haven't prepared, huh? Okay. Don't get demotivated in the work situation. It's like this common thinking that it's Spain, the salaries are low and there's not enough work here. Especially in Catalonia, in Barcelona, there's so much foreign companies coming in here and they're looking for strong international employees. Take your time, do your research, and you will find a great company that is paying decently. So don't get discouraged by people saying that it's Spain, you can't make money here.
It's actually possible to make a career if you're like you, a little bit goal setter and serious about what you're doing, and you're here to stay. That's what you're saying.
We have some friends that actually even got very good positions, jobs from Germany, for example, that just moved here.
They were sent here, from the companies.
And set up with at least the work situation already figured out for coming. Right. That's very convenient, especially when you have a Swedish or German company that pays.
So that's
maybe
amazing.
also the same as you do back home.
You came here with a startup. You crashed the startup. You started working for a Swedish employee, and you rented a place. No, first you lived with some Danes.
Right.
You survived that. You rented a place. And then you actually went on to buy something. So you're more or less a Catalan local now here.
I try to be. That's the goal. Yeah.
It's an amazing story, and we can round up with. Can you say in German?
Subscribe.
Liken und folgen.
Liken und folgen.
Folgen.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
Have we missed anything?
No, I think you told us all there is to tell about the Germans moving to.
There's more to tell, but those guys they're gonna give you all the information.
Folgen.
Liken und folgen.
Hasta luego.
Hasta la vista.
Thanks, guys.